In a quiet village surrounded by tall green forests, there lived a young boy named Ethan. Ethan was curious, kind, and loved exploring the woods near his home. Every afternoon after finishing his chores, Ethan would walk along the narrow forest path. He loved listening to birds singing, watching squirrels jump between trees, and feeling the cool breeze through the leaves. But the villagers often warned him, "Stay away from the deep forest," they said. "There are wolves there." Most people in the village were afraid of wolves. They believed wolves were dangerous and cruel. But Ethan was not afraid of the forest. One day, while walking deeper than usual, Ethan heard a strange sound. A soft, painful whimper. He stopped. The sound came again. Whimper, whimper. Ethan slowly followed the sound through the bushes. Behind a fallen tree, he saw something that made his heart beat faster. A large gray wolf was lying on the ground. At first, Ethan froze. The wolf looked strong and wild, but it was not growling or showing its teeth. Instead, it looked weak. Its leg was caught in a hunter's metal trap. The wolf tried to move, but every movement made the trap tighten. Ethan could see fear in the wolf's eyes. For a moment, Ethan remembered the villagers' warnings. Wolves are dangerous. But then he saw the wolf trembling in pain. Ethan took a deep breath. "Don't worry," he whispered softly. "I won't hurt you." Slowly, very slowly, Ethan stepped closer. The wolf watched him carefully but did not attack. Ethan knelt beside it and examined the trap. It was heavy and tight. Using all his strength, Ethan pulled the trap open. It took several tries. Finally, clank, the trap released the wolf's leg. The wolf quickly pulled its paw away, but did not run. It simply looked at Ethan. For a few seconds, the boy and the wolf stared at each other in silence. Then, the wolf slowly stood up and limped into the forest. Before disappearing between the trees, it turned its head once, as if thanking him. Ethan watched quietly. Then he walked back home, keeping the secret to himself. The next day, Ethan returned to the same spot in the forest. He brought a small piece of bread and some meat from home. Maybe the wolf will come back, he thought. At first, nothing happened. But then, the bushes moved. The gray wolf slowly appeared again. It kept its distance, watching Ethan carefully. Ethan gently placed the food on the ground and stepped back. "It's for you," he said. The wolf approached cautiously and ate the food. After finishing, it looked at Ethan again before quietly disappearing into the trees. Days passed. Ethan continued visiting the forest, bringing food and speaking softly to the wolf. Little by little, the wolf began to trust him. Soon, the wolf would sit nearby while Ethan talked. Sometimes it wagged its tail slightly. Sometimes it simply watched the birds flying above. They had become unlikely friends. But Ethan still kept the friendship a secret. The villagers would never understand. One evening, Ethan stayed in the forest longer than usual. The sun began to set, and shadows grew long between the trees. Suddenly, Ethan heard something that made him nervous. Rustle, rustle, heavy footsteps. Then he saw them. 2 wild boars were digging near the path. Wild boars were very dangerous. If they felt threatened, they could charge quickly. Ethan slowly tried to walk away. But one of the boars noticed him. It snorted loudly. The other boar lifted its head. Both animals began moving toward him. Ethan's heart started racing. He turned and ran. But the forest floor was uneven. Roots and rocks slowed him down. Behind him, the boars were getting closer. One of them let out a loud, angry squeal. Ethan stumbled and fell. Now the boars were only a few steps away. He was trapped. Ethan closed his eyes, terrified. Then suddenly, a loud howl echoed through the forest. Awoo! The boars stopped. Another howl followed. Then, from the bushes, a large gray wolf jumped forward. It stood between Ethan and the boars. It was the same wolf Ethan had helped. The wolf growled fiercely. Its fur stood up, and its eyes shone with warning. The boars hesitated. The wolf stepped forward again, growling louder. Finally, the boars turned and ran back into the forest. The danger was gone. Ethan slowly sat up. The wolf turned and looked at him. For a moment, everything was quiet. Then Ethan smiled. "Thank you," he said softly. The wolf walked closer and gently nudged Ethan's hand with its nose. For the first time, Ethan carefully touched the wolf's fur. It was warm and soft. After a few seconds, the wolf stepped back. Then it turned and disappeared into the trees once again. Ethan walked home under the evening sky. He felt safe and grateful. That night, he thought about everything that had happened, how a small act of kindness had saved a life, and how that kindness had returned to save his own. From that day on, Ethan understood something important. Kindness is never wasted. Even the smallest act of compassion can create powerful friendships. And sometimes, the good we do for others finds its way back to us when we need it the most.